Hello there, greetings, or in Burmese, Mingalaba. This is Kenneth Wong, a Burmese-American writer from San Francisco and a Burmese language instructor. In this episode, I'll teach you how to ask what questions in Burmese. Let's start with something very simple, that is, to ask what something is. The Burmese word for what is ba. You have to keep the vowel loose and lingering a little bit, so don't cut it off like someone has just interrupted you. Don't say ba. And don't raise your voice either. Don't say ba like the place you're going to get a pint of Guinness. You have to say ba. It's not ba, it's not ba, it's ba. In other words, out of the three possible pronunciations, ba, ba, pick the second one. The other thing you need to know is the particle le. If you're asking who, what, where, when, why, and how questions, you need to end your question with the particle le. So put it all together. Ba le is what? One more time. Ba le, that is what. Da is the Burmese equivalent of this or it, something you can point to or motion at. So if you're walking through a market, you see some odd or unfamiliar thing and you want to know what it is, you want to ask the vendor, then you say da ba le. Da ba le. That's roughly the same as what's this or what is it? Let's add two more words to your vocabulary. Diha is this thing, this object, or this item. Ha stands for something non-specific, non-classifiable object or thing. Diha's cousin is hoha, which means that object, that thing, that item, something a little bit further away. So diha and hoha are this thing and that thing. In other words, this and that. Now you can ask diha ba le for something a little bit closer to you, and hoha ba le for something a little bit further. In normal speech, these questions might sound like dia ba le instead of diha ba le, and hoa ba le instead of hoha ba le. Let me repeat. It's diha ba le or dia ba le for what's this, and hoha ba le or hoa ba le for what's that. Let's go to the next level. Let's ask questions with specific verbs indicating actions. Here are the 4 verbs that we'll be using today. Sa is to eat. Sa, to eat. Thou, to drink. Thou, to drink. Where, to buy or purchase. Where, to buy. And pyo, to speak or to say something. Pyo, to speak. For this lesson, you would also need to know the auxiliary verb chin, often pronounced jin, which is the equivalent of want to. Suppose you want to ask someone, what do you want to eat? You say, ba sa jin le. Let me repeat, ba sa jin le. Notice in the breakdown of the sentence elements, the pronoun you is absent. It's not there. That's because in spoken Burmese, people tend to leave it out if it is clear who the question is directed to. In other words, if you're looking at someone when you ask that question, or if there are only 2 of you, it's clear who the question is meant for. So you don't have to add the Burmese word for you in the question. Let me repeat. It's ba sa jin le. That's how you say, what do you want to eat? The verb to drink is thauk. One more time. It's thauk. So if you want to ask someone, what do you want to drink? It's ba tau chin le. One more time. It's ba tau chin le. And by the same token, the verb to buy is where. If you're strolling past a shop or a vendor and you're looking and picking up things and examining items on display, the shopkeeper is most likely going to ask you, ba where jin le? One more time. Ba where jin le? That is, what do you want to buy? The verb to speak or to say something is pyo. It's not pure, so be careful of the pronunciation. I have used the English letter P because, well, it's close enough and there's no other option, but it's not really accurate. The Burmese consonant pa is the pa sound you make in words like Spain, spontaneous, Spartacus, or spoon, not the P sound you make in pain, poo, or pompous. So once more, it's not pure. It's pure. To ask, what do you want to say? Or what do you want to talk about? You say, ba pyo jin le. One more time. It's ba pyo jin le. It's not ba pyo jin le. It's Ba le. Let me give you two more verbs and let you figure out how to use them in a similar what question structure. Okay? To ask a question is may. One more time. It's may. That is the Burmese verb to ask a question. And to cook something is che. One more time. Che. So how would you say, what do you want to ask? Can you figure that out? That's right. It's ba le. Once more, it's ba le. That's what do you want to ask? And can you figure out how to say, what do you want to cook? That's right. It's ba le. It's ba le. So let's take a look at the 6 verbs you've learned to use with the word ba or what. And let's repeat them from top to bottom. Ba le. What do you want to eat? Ba le. What do you want to eat? Ba le. What do you want to drink? Ba le. What do you want to drink? Ba le. What do you want to buy? Ba le. What do you want to buy? Ba le. What do you want to say? Ba le. What do you want to say? Ba le. What do you want to ask? Ba le. What do you want to ask? And the last one, ba le. What do you want to cook? Ba le. What do you want to cook? A note on the pronunciation of the auxiliary verb chen or jen. When you use it with the verbs thao, to drink, and che, to cook, it's pronounced chen, not jin. With the other verbs on today's list, it's pronounced jin. So pay attention to that. So in other words, it's not thao jin, it's thao chen. It's not che jin, it's che chen. Watch out for those. Let's tackle the last part of today's lesson, shall we? And that is to differentiate between questions about things that have already happened and things that are going to happen but have not happened yet. For this part, you need to know 3 new phrases. Dine, which is today. Dine, for today. Manega, which is yesterday. Manega, yesterday. And the last one, Manapyan, tomorrow. Manapyan, tomorrow. Let me repeat them in the same order. Dine, today. Dine, today. Manega, yesterday. Manega, yesterday. And Manapyan, tomorrow. Manapyan, tomorrow. Suppose you are with someone who has already made breakfast, lunch, dinner, or whatever the appropriate meal happens to be for that particular time period. This is important, the fact that the meal has already been made. Then you ask, Dine ba le? Dine ba le? That means, what did you cook today? What did you cook today? I'll repeat, Dine ba le? What did you cook today? That question assumes the meal has already been cooked. Now suppose you're with someone who has not cooked the breakfast, lunch, dinner, or whatever the meal happens to be that you're talking about. Then you ask, Dine ba le? Dine ba le? That roughly means, what will you cook today? Or what are you going to cook today? Unlike English, the Burmese verb che, to cook, doesn't change shape or form. But when you're asking about future action that hasn't happened yet, you use male instead of le to end your question. This is the difference. So one more time. Dine ba le is the way to ask, what did you cook today? That is, the cooking is done. Or Dine ba le is the way to ask, what will you cook today? Or what are you going to cook today? By the same token, if you want to ask, what did you cook yesterday? You say, Manega ba le. What did you cook yesterday? Manega ba le. What did you cook yesterday? And if you want to ask about tomorrow, you say, Manepyam ba le. What will you cook tomorrow? Manepyam ba le. What will you cook tomorrow? So here are the 4 variations that you have just learned. Manega ba le. What did you cook yesterday? Manega ba le. What did you cook yesterday? Dine ba le. What did you cook today? Dine ba le. What did you cook today? Dine ba le. What will you cook today? What are you going to cook today? Dine ba le. What are you going to cook today? Manepyam ba le. What will you cook tomorrow? Manepyam ba le. What are you going to cook tomorrow? Now try to figure out the same variations with other verbs. For example, the verb to eat is sa. So to say, what did you eat today? You'll ask, Dine ba sa le? What did you eat today? Dine ba sa le? How about the verb wear, to buy? To say, what are you going to buy tomorrow? Or what will you buy tomorrow? You ask, Manepyam ba we male? Manepyam ba we male? What will you buy tomorrow? The ma in Malay makes all the difference. It separates what's going to happen from what has already happened, completed, or finished. And with that, my lesson for today is done, finished. So, let me just say, Nama Dui Me. See you later. This is Kenneth Wong.